Hey guys, so I'm making a video because I just came across a big nugget of information and I wanted to share it with you guys because I feel like it could really help some of you. So I originally went keto because I felt like I was getting a little padded. Whoops. I felt like I was getting a little padded. Not fat really, but I felt like, bloated eating a lot of beans and rice. And it's like, how would I describe it? It's like when you wake up, you feel like you have extra padding on you. So what I did is I said, oh, well, let me see what's out there. And I saw keto. So I went on a lower carb diet, and I felt great. I felt like, I was losing weight, and I don't weigh myself, but it's just how I feel. I felt like I had less padding around my stomach, my legs, and I was in a better mood. So I was also upping my meat intake, my fat intake. Everything was great. And whenever I ate carbs, I noticed that I just felt less grounded. I felt more, yeah, like I said, more padded like the next day. So everything was doing okay. And then sometime late last year, I noticed that I started getting an itchy spot on my arm, and it just got progressively worse over time. So I was moisturizing it, and then it's like the more I was doing, the more I was moisturizing, the worse it was getting. Now, I was thinking like, oh crap, maybe I'm allergic to something. So then I started locking down on my diet even more. Okay, let's go lower and lower carb. And yesterday I ate about 10 grams of carbs. And today I was at zero carbs up until I cut out, up until I ate instant noodles. And I know instant noodles isn't the best, but I thought, frick it, I'm just going to kick myself out of ketosis. And I'm not going to be on the keto diet at least for 2 weeks. I'm just going to eat normally. So I was reading about keto rash because, as I shared with you guys, I'm starting to break out around my neck area and also my torso. And Lewis notices it too. He's like, "Whoa, your neck looks angry." And yeah. So not only my neck, my chest, my torso, also my upper arms are starting to get itchy, and it's not like I'm stressed out about it. It's not like I'm thinking about it hardcore. It's more like I just notice it's getting worse and worse. So I was reading about keto rash today, and this is something that they don't really talk about. They talk about keto losing weight, which is what I've always heard, but they don't talk about this rash. So they say that yeah, if the side effects of keto diet is brain fog, fatigue, electro, even keto rash, right? So what it is, it's a freaking itchy rash around the trunk and neck. But here's the kicker: it occurs most commonly in Asian women. So they say that it shows up, right? It's an itchy red rash that occurs primarily in the upper back, chest, and abdomen. Red spots take on a web-like appearance, dark brown pattern. So some people have said, well, take bile salts, ox bile salts. It's like a tablet, and then it'll help you digest like the fats and the protein better. But here's the kicker: I never had any gastric distress. People who it's like when I think about things, I think like, man, I should be having these issues if I'm eating loads and loads of meat, right? I normally eat about 1.5 pounds of meat a week. So it's not very much at all. I eat eggs, and yeah, it seems like the more I'm locking down on the keto diet, it's the worse it's getting. So I'm thinking like I probably should get off the keto diet. For keto diet, it's like I just like that feeling of groundedness and well-being, but well, I don't want to live my life scratching and having rash. So I went on Reddit and I found this out. So they said after 3 weeks of intense itching with keto rash, it's finally gone. So they tried antibiotics. They went to the dermatologist. They got steroid cream, antihistamine, and now they're left with this scar on their stomach, chest, and neck. It's now it's fading, and look, they said this. So the reason why I'm writing this post is because I desperately searched on Reddit, Google for a solution. I was sort of left disappointed by the vague tea tree. Are you sure it's keto? Because keto could do no wrong. Cut dairy and cheese, etc. So this happened 3 years ago. So they had said that the keto rash was intense for them. It started off with the forehead and it was intensely itchy. No amount of relieving pain was able to help them. They look like a plague victim, and the rash hurt like hell. I literally could not do anything productive for almost 2 weeks in I was bedroom. I became very depressed because I saw great results with the keto diet. Just like me, I had no problems with the keto diet, but this diet was killing me psychologically. After all, I was on it for 3 weeks. When I started developing this rash, I was in denial. I thought it was allergies or food poisoning because I saw great results and I felt great. I'm thankful I have the summer off as a teacher. I found out that the keto rash affects Eastern Asian ladies more, Korean and Japanese. If you have an intense rash and you tried all the solutions the internet offered to you, the only solution would be to increase your carb limit, even if it kicks you out of ketosis. My skin cleared in a week. I hate carbs, so in a couple of days I would ketosis again, and then I started breaking out. If you cut out carbs, consuming them is pretty difficult, 20 grams or more, especially if you're a tiny female, unless you go for junk food. People told me to consume more carbs, and they were right. Two doctors told them, and Redditors. I begrudgingly accepted my fate, and I started eating strawberries and sweet potato intentionally almost every day. If I miss that for 2 to 3 days, my body goes back into ketosis, and my body starts to itch and break out again. So, this is just one person. And see that? They said, you can still, yeah, so some people say, like, yeah, give it a try. And see that? So I thought too. I thought like, hey, my body, if this is, my body should have definitely adjusted to this by now because I've been experimenting with keto since, let's see, late last year. And yeah, I thought I would adjust to it, but obviously it doesn't seem like it. See this? So it seems, yeah, it seems that you really have to be careful with this kind of thing. So, yeah, see? So people are talking about the gut flora again. I'm going to go and follow this and say, yeah, I probably have some sort of side effect from keto diet. So I'm going to get out of keto and I'm just going to eat normally. I'm going to eat my carbs. I'm going to try to stay gluten-free. I know I ate instant noodles today and that's gluten, but whatever. And then here's another thing too. So they talk about the shame of going off the keto diet. So look at this. I've been keeping this quiet for a few months because, well, I feel a little ashamed. While keto was successful for me losing weight, but there's also another side I didn't mention about this diet. But before I begin to explain, just know that everybody is different. However, for mine, after 2 months on keto, my body started to develop an inflammatory skin condition called prurigo pigmentosa, otherwise known as the keto rash. I know what you're thinking. Oh, the keto rash is normal, it'll go away, but it hasn't. I've waited and it's gotten worse. Look at that. I've tried upping my carbs and that didn't work either. I tried doing a reset by eating carbohydrates and that didn't work. Only resulted in me gaining a ton of weight back. I tried vitamins. I read that would help, but it didn't. The most accurate thing I found out, though, is that most of what I read was that this can occur to most Asian women. I remember frowning at that. My rash was starting to scar and I didn't like how it was scarring my body, so I stopped the keto diet. My original weight before the diet was 180, now I'm 190. During the diet, I lost 25 pounds, making 155 my lowest. The keto diet didn't help me love my body the way I wanted to. In fact, it made it worse. It's hard to find my body where I can fully feel 100% comfortable. Being pressured to lose weight has always been ingrained in my head throughout my life. The replays of what's been told about me, about my body in the past will always be something hard to let go. I tried every diet out there and somehow it's never worked for me. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what is right for me to eat more healthier. I don't know what it'll take to finally love my own body. So yeah, people are telling them go over to intermittent fasting. And yeah, so this person didn't see a dermatologist. And yeah, see, they say keto isn't for everyone. Dr. Pita Tia, a keto proponent, admits this too. Good luck with finding a diet that works. And then another person says, I also get a rash when I cut my carbs too low. That's not a reason to continue with the crazy carbs. I usually eat a mandarin or Tic Tacs and it goes away. You can use trial and error. See? So, yeah, they get keto rash too. And you guys, if you saw my previous stream, you will hear people, you will hear people say something along the lines of, you will hear people say something along the lines of they were on keto or they're on carnivore diet for over a year or even 2 years, and suddenly it's like they just start breaking out in freaking keto rash. And Yeah, it's something that yeah. But see, look, has the rash gone since you stopped? I hope so. And someone said, yes, the rash is gone now that I stopped. The scarring is still there. However, I stopped since 2018. So, um, yeah, it's not good. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing for my skin. I'm gonna continue at applying like the antifungal or the bombs that Lieber sent and see how that works out. But what I want to do is I want to stop the spread of this, because if I had to deal with this for like 3 more months or just hope that I suddenly adjust to this is gonna freaking like mess me up psychologically, because my life is basically just dealing with itchiness, and it's just getting worse. The more I locked down on the keto diet, the more I was getting itchy over time. And yesterday I ate about 10 grams of carbs, like I told you, and today, well, thankfully I ate 86, so hopefully tomorrow's a better day. But I wanted to share this with you guys because if you guys have this kind of issue and you're on the keto diet, you basically have a fork in the road. Some people will say just keep at it, work through it, and maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones. Maybe you can go on ox bile or something like that. I've heard dandelion root. I've heard people say kombucha. But for me, knowing what I know about keto rash, I want this thing to clear up before I go, if I decide to go back on keto. I do strongly believe in low carb. I think I'm going too low carb here. And I was cracking a joke with Lewis. I said, yeah, I stopped eating rice, and you know how they always talk about Asians eating rice? Yeah, I take away my rice and I end up with keto rash. See this? Like Asians and their rice. Like Asians love rice. I love rice too. Like I love eating rice so much, but I love my fried rice. I love eating sushi. I love all sorts of, yeah. See it like this. Like this is my jam. And yeah, I stopped eating rice, and yeah, I slowly end up with um, skin issues. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna stick with sweet potatoes and rice. I don't want to go over to pasta, but let's see that over there. So I only found this because I was looking up keto rash. If you look up like keto Asians, you won't really find much. But let me show you guys this one: keto rash Asians. See, my Asian wife seems to be getting keto rash. See, she's been getting a pretty bad case of hives, large itchy patches, bleeding. Um, they went to the doctor and then they gave her Benadryl or another antihistamine. And people are saying like, oh, dandelion tea, oh, black seed oil. See this? As an Asian man in his mid-20s, I developed a rash not long after beginning a keto diet. It didn't last long. Give it at least 1 to 2 weeks more. My best advice would be continue to keep the areas clean and make sure to hydrate regularly. My rash improved as I started to drink more often. So I am drinking water. So it's not like I'm not drinking any water. I definitely am. See this, and then here people are saying like, yeah, they're going through all this stuff over here. So they take Benadryl, they take dandelion tea, apple cider vinegar, ginger tea. I'm drinking ginger tea right now. And then, yeah, they're taking bone broth, which I've been taking bone broth for a couple months already. So, yeah, in case you guys didn't know what supplements I was taking, I take grass-fed beef liver, astaxanthin, spirulina, CoQ10, fermented cod liver oil, and yeah, that's still not enough. So now I'm taking vitamin D3 and I'm taking zinc. And frick, this itchiness, you guys. I know I'm like bitching a lot about this stuff, but fuck, seriously, this is really itchy. See?
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, and I'll love you.
So look at this. So this person, right? They said they've been on the keto diet 3 weeks ago. I googled this. I found out some Eastern Asian women have developed severe rash from a low carb diet. They've been prescribed oral steroids and creams, which it seems to help, but the rash is still growing. See? So it's all over their neck, chest, stomach, and back. See? Everything is about the same except I don't consume rice, bread, and junk food. So, yeah, their diet didn't change. It was just the frickin' carbs, lack of carbs. So, Yeah. No, my sleep schedule hasn't really been affected, but I did take a nap in the afternoon because I was just really tired. So I'm gonna take a shower and then afterwards I'm gonna frickin' take a oatmeal bath afterwards. And yeah, eat normal. Yeah, I'm just gonna eat normal. I'm just gonna go back to eating carbs. I'm gonna go gluten free though, because I feel like gluten breaks me out. But I'm gonna just eat like, things like pho and sushi and yeah. I can't go low carb for sure. I can't. I don't want to go low carb. Not with this kind of thing. Knowing what I know about keto rash and knowing that I have a flare up, a possible flare up, that's something very, very eye opening to me. So I'm gonna go back on a regular diet, right? Not junk food, just more carbs, really. And then after I go back on that, I'm assuming it's gonna clear up probably in a week or two. And then after that, right? I'll see what happens. Like, what happens if I start lowering my carb intake, right? Does this thing get worse? And if it does get worse, that tells me what was the big difference, Erica. It was your carb intake, and yeah, I want to see it. I think with anything, right? People say like, oh, carbs. I never really thought carbs had that much of a difference in my life. Seriously, I always thought like, oh yeah, you could take out the carbs and you could just be okay. But frick, if anybody told me like, yeah, Erica, you could end up with this really freaking itchy rash, I would have said, what? Seriously? Because when I think about rash, I always think like, oh, that must be something you put on your skin that caused you, right? Maybe you ate something you're allergic to, like if you're allergic to seafood and you do this. But I would have never thought if you just have a low carb intake and can instigate rash. Hmm? What? What? I don't want to do this right. I don't want to do this right now. But, okay, here. Here, come over here, come over here. What? Come over here. Come on. I'll fight with you for like 2 minutes. Come on. I'm doing a stream right now. That's all.
You should put the webcam on so you can see.
No.
What?
Yeah. Okay. I'll do. Yeah. I'm pretty freaking. So see that? Um.
You couldn't see the camera was
Yeah. So I'm treating this thing with an antifungal. Yeah, so we'll see how this thing turns out. I'm treating it with antifungal for some areas. And oh my goodness, geez Louise, this freaking stuff is like,
up.
I have another outbreak on my leg. So yeah, it's like, I'm just like looking at my body and it's like, yeah, I really hope I can up my carb intake because I'm just gonna reverse everything that I'm gonna kick myself way out of ketosis because if I keep getting this kind of stuff like this itchiness, like the top of my ears feel itchy, that's not good. Yeah. So I just hope that nobody, nobody who's like on keto, they think like, oh, I all of a sudden just have eczema. If you are Asian and you are on keto, like please be mindful about this kind of stuff. I don't want to scare you with this, but when I was looking at Keto Rash, I also came across this. So okay, by the way, this is graphic. I'll send you the link over here if you want to check. Again, this might be related to keto. It might not be related to keto, but I wanted to share it with you guys anyway. So this person was documenting their diet, right? So they said from April 29th to May 5th, they went on a low carb, high fat diet. This is something that I was on, right? You guys saw me eating pork belly. You guys saw me eating eggs and bacon. I was trying to cut down the carbs. So they go on this for about a week and then they get a rash. So they end up with a small itchy rash on their sternum, separated dots about 20 about it. So you would think like this is a freaking keto rash because they said that they were clearly in ketosis. They were feeling like they were being healthy. Now here's the scary part, okay? And again, this might be keto, this might not be keto, this could be some other thing. This person said it wasn't, it wasn't chicken pox or anything, but just the timing about it makes me a little suspicious, okay? So they have the rash and then it spreads, so it spreads across their chest and down their stomach, which as you guys know, I already have this like thing going on my chest and it's down my torso already, right? But it's also on my upper arms and it's on my leg, but it's not very much, it's just a few dots. So when I saw this, I thought, okay, I gotta stop the keto stuff, I gotta stop it. So while they're doing this, right, people said, oh yeah, you can stop the rash by introducing carbs. So they added some carbs back into their diet. And the people were saying like, oh, it's the toxins leaving your cells, right? So they're thinking, okay, no big deal, right? Next day, they go over to a doctor, and then they said, oh, it's an allergic reaction. That's it. So they said, oh yeah, we don't think this is a diet change. Just get some lotion, hydrocortisone, and some allergy tablets to see if it helped. And they had this thing spreading. See? So now it's going on their lower legs, just above their ankles and the back of the calves. And their lower back was covered. Did I mention I was itchy as hell? So you can see 3 days from when the rash starts appearing, it starts getting worse. And yeah, for me, I am at chest, stomach, and some of it's on my leg. And then the next day, May 10th, then it starts getting even worse. Like look at the skin texture over here. Can you guys see this? And then they say, oh yeah, it's an allergic reaction. Then they go over to the doctor, and the doctor says, okay, we're going to give you some pink steroid tablets. And then we'll give you a prescription, and that's it. So yeah, see that? So then what happens is that their skin starts weeping. And then they start getting this rash, which gets worse. See that? So, and then they're already on steroids here. And I don't know if it's just a combination of steroid reaction. I really don't know. Maybe they're allergic to the pills. But look how bad this thing got. So now it's getting worse, okay? So May 12th, right? So remember, they first got this thing on May 6th. And now it's May 12th. And then, yeah, it gets so bad they actually end up in the hospital. Look at this. You guys can read it. So they had to go to an isolation room. And then this is how their body looks like. I don't know if it's an allergic reaction to the steroids or what, but see, so there's no chicken pox. And then they're getting hit with more, they're getting hit with steroid creams and things like that. See? And look at that. So they got transferred to infectious diseases. They got a 500 milliliter container of antibacterial soap. And then they said, yeah, their skin felt like crap. They ended up being covered in paraffin. They ended up with 60 blisters on their palms between the fingers. Just like the whole freaking body is flaring up for whatever reason. And then their feet get swollen. And then look at their skin. So there's concerns that maybe they have leukemia. And they get more stuff. More blisters. So afterwards, it seems that finally the rash is stopped and it's clearing up. But see, they're on steroid cream. So they're constantly on eczema moisturizer and creams and things like that. And yeah, then their skin is peeling. And they have a blood test, and then they said there's no conclusion on what caused the rash. The most explanation is it was triggered by a virus, but they don't know what. And again, this might not be keto. It could just be a coincidence that they spent like a week on a keto diet and then it just freaking went out of control. But just something to think about, as someone who does have itchy rash spreading on her body, right? It's like, yeah, so something to just something that I looked at it and I'm like, oh, for frick's sake. So yeah. So yeah, up to a certain now I'm just gonna kick myself out of ketosis, and I'll tell you why I'm gonna kick myself out of ketosis, because I wanna make sure that I rather have it completely clear and then return back to keto rather than, and say like, okay, I upped my carbs and it went away, rather than just say like, okay, I'm gonna slowly increase my carbs. I'll make sure I hit 100 or I hit 120 or 90 or whatever it is. So I'm just gonna live life how I used to before, and oh my goodness, my freaking leg. And see how that is, but it just sucks, it just really sucks if you have this kind of skin itchiness. Again, best way I can describe it, it's like imagine having a really itchy mosquito bite, but it's on your leg, it's on your thigh, it's on your chest. Like you imagine you have like the itchiest mosquito bites all over your chest, and then you also have like you look at your arm and your arm's just like weeping all day. So what is it? Yeah, if I expect it to clear, because according to what I was reading over here, they say that yeah, this woman, it stopped after they went off keto, and this person, they went off keto too, right? And they found out, yes, if they don't eat enough carbs in 2 to 3 days, then when their body goes back into ketosis, then they start having a breakout. So this might be one of those things where um, if this is the case, like I might end up being anti-keto. And I don't mean anti-keto that I'm gonna shit on keto for the rest of my life, but I know for myself, right? If I go back into ketosis, my body's natural reaction is gonna be like itch, itch, itch. And I don't want any of that kind of thing, right? I want to live a life where I don't have to worry about my skin getting itchy or like feel like I'm breaking out in hives. And see, so yeah, this person, Asian, they stopped it. They just eat strawberries and sweet potatoes, and it cleared up. When did they say it cleared up? Their skin cleared up in a week. See, and this person, the other person who was having body image issues, yeah, it went up. Once they went off keto, it was okay. So look at that. This person said, I waited 2 months and it never went away. It became unbearable. Then I read. So they had to take this antibiotic, and then it never came back. See that? Look at this. I have raised skin in areas but no redness to accompany. I didn't think it was keto related, just some random burst of dermatitis. However, I went off of keto for a few weeks, and now that I'm back on keto, it appeared again. So you can have skin issues while you're on keto. And I wanted to share that with you guys. And I don't see, look at this. So yeah, theirs cleared up after an agonizing month. So again, my thing is I can't go on strict keto in my opinion ever, because I have cheat meals. I don't want to be living a keto lifestyle for the rest of my life, 100% keto. And if it takes any adjustment period, I'm afraid that if I go on, let's say, a moderate keto, right, and then I kick myself out of ketosis, when I try to go back on a moderate keto again, I'm afraid that I'm going to have a flare up. But it could just be that I have to eat a certain amount of carbs and that's it. But see, look at this. I got the keto rash too. Started around the same time, a couple months after being keto. It hasn't gone away, and I've been on keto for over a year and a half. Funny enough, I never chose keto to lose weight, but just keep my skin clear from acne. Yeah, it's pretty ironic to get the keto rash in place of acne. I just want to say I can relate. I don't know what the right answer is anymore. See? So, yeah, I think people start keto because they have really good intentions. They see the benefits of keto, but if you end up with the keto rash, oh my gosh, it's terrible. See? See, and someone said, yeah, why don't you do a drastic elimination diet? Oh my God. Maybe try cut out gluten. Maybe, maybe it'll work for some people. Yeah, see? Look at this. Keep in mind, I said most Asians, not all. As Holly mentioned, if you Google them or generally Keto Rash, you come on a lot of them mentioning some Eastern women, usually Korean and Japanese, I'm Korean, are at high risk of likely having the rash. So genetically, yeah, you can be susceptible to that. And freaking sucks. Yeah, so enough about this whole thing, about the keto diet. And yeah, so you guys are gonna see probably pictures of me eating high carb food, and we'll see. I hope this stuff goes away for me. I think I just got to go back to my little rice. I know that would sound really racist, but I'm just a lot of Asians. Like if any people who are Asian watching the stream, they know, they'd be like, yeah, you eat rice with your kimchi, you eat rice with meat, and you always eat rice. And yeah, this is the downside about cutting the rice out of your Asian diet, possibly. If you don't eat enough rice, then yeah, you end up with these issues, and you don't feel so happy. I was totally fine with cutting out rice, believe it or not. Like, I had no problem with it. I just substituted it with cauliflower rice. And I thought, like, oh, yeah, I'm being healthier. I'm not eating rice. And, well, rice has carbs. So, yeah, I don't know any other, personally for me, I don't know any other Asian person who's on keto diet. And, yeah, so we'll see. Like I said, we'll see if this thing goes away. Yeah, the rash on your body should tell you to stop keto if it clears up. So we will see in about, I'd give it 2 weeks. 2 weeks of a regular carby diet, and yeah, see if everything clears up. If it does, then I'll go back to keto. And if I start breaking out, then that tells me, hey, Erica, it's the freaking keto diet, right? I don't want to conclusively say, like, if it starts clearing up rapidly, then it was the keto diet. So I'll go back on keto diet, see what happens. And then if I start getting itchy again, then get off keto diet. So, yeah. I think Asians can be. I think Asians are just, I know all the Asians that I know eat carbs. It's like, you look at Japanese food. Let me look up Japanese food, right? Um, See, Japanese food, you got your carbs. See your carbs over there? See your rice ball, your sushi, your noodles, your udon, your unagi on the rice. I mean, this is not a low carb thing. See, look, even the rice balls over here. See, carb, carb, carb. And I love carbs, don't get me wrong. But I've never cut out so much carbs in my life, until I went on this diet. See, look at this. Sushi covered with rice. See that? And then if you look at Chinese food, right? What do you got? Okay, I know some people are gonna give me shit about this. But I'll be like, look, you got your noodles, you got your fried rice, you got your little wontons with the carb wrappers on there. There ain't no low carb stuff over here. See? Yeah, there's no, I don't know any Chinese person who counts their carbs. And then you got Korean food. And then, see, like your bibimbap. See that? You got vegetables on a bed of rice. So you always have rice. It's really one of those, like, staple things. Even if you eat, like, all you can eat over here, where's yakiniku? Yeah, even if you eat something like this, right? It usually comes with, like, a bowl of rice. And then you don't Korean. Where is it? Or you have some sort of carb in there. Where is this? Okay, I don't see any pictures of it. But yeah, Koreans don't eat yakiniku like this all the time either. They don't eat yakiniku every single day. So if you eat like other Korean food, it definitely has carbs in there. See? See like this? Korean sushi. Your noodles. You get what I'm saying? Your Korean your kimchi fried rice, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna load up on my little Asian food. Yeah, yeah. East Asia eats a lot of rice in their meals. Yeah, I grew up eating a lot of rice in my meals, so now I know the downside about freaking cutting rice out of my diet. I don't think I'm ever gonna cut rice out of from my diet moving forward. Um, oh, Kopaz is eating cold noodles right now. Kopaz is eating carbs. Embrace her inner Hawaiian most. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Indian food. Indian food has rice too. See, so a lot of food has rice, and I've learned possibly right. I don't want to say this is definitively, but yeah, I've learned that yeah, for Asians, if you cut out your rice, you can end up with freaking a keto rash dermatitis on here. See, so itchy red rash that appears primarily on upper back, chest, and abdomen. We'll see. We'll see if this thing goes away. I'll see how much of it goes away, and yeah, I'll report back to you guys. But today's going to be a very itchy day for me so far, it seems. I can't wait to do my little oatmeal bath for sure. Let's see. Yeah, the solution's going to be more being more Asian. I imagine if family watches this, they're gonna just like laugh. They're just gonna laugh and they're gonna say, "Oh, see, Erica, see, this is what happens when you don't eat you don't eat rice. See, it serves you right, Erica. You turned your back on the freaking Asian rice." I'm like, oh, uh, look at that. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Reserve of carbs causing flare-ups. I was, as my skin was getting worse and worse, I was just locking down the carbs lower and lower and lower. And I thought I was helping myself, but at the end of it, it's like you don't hear too much people talking about keto rash. When you talk about the keto diet, you hear about so much good things about it. They don't focus on like, okay, yeah, well, just be on the lookout if you got the keto rash. Like if you're Asian, like just be more aware of that. Again, I had to look up keto rash specifically, and then that's when I saw this whole little blurb, and then I started going down the whole freaking Reddit thing, and then you read about this stuff. You guys saw earlier today, I was looking at keto rash videos, and I had zero indication about Asian people having keto rash. Um, fat low carb makes fat utilization easier, and fat does help with some issues and ends up storing dangerous elements. Uh, yeah, yeah. So, if if the keto diet ends up, being, not being on a keto diet ends up clearing my skin, that will also tell me that I probably could never ever do carnivore diet because carnivore diet is zero carb. Like I told you guys, I tried carnivore diet. I had nothing bad to say about carnivore diet except I got so fucking tired of eating meat. Meat, 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 meat. It's just like, oh, what am I gonna eat today? Meat. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's like you see, and then you see other things, right? And you're like, ah, man. So if I eat like cheesecake, I'm not a carnivore. I'm not on the carnivore diet anymore. I don't like having a restrictive diet, but I also don't want a diet where it's like if I stray out from it, I really suffer. So it's like it's like, okay, let's put it this way, right? Let's say if you're trying to eat healthy and you say, okay, I'm gonna eat a healthy diet, and you try to like eat mostly salad, right? If you don't eat salad for let's say 1 week, you're gonna just maybe, maybe you have like a little, you feel like more tired or something, but it's not gonna be a big deal. You can just easily eat salad tomorrow. But for I feel like keto diet, it's like you have to be mindful about it because you can kick yourself out of ketosis and you got to start over again. And I can't help but think, yeah, every time I try to do the cycle of like I have a cheat meal and then I kick myself out of ketosis, and then I I go back on keto, and then let's say if I try to go more lower carb, then my skin gets worse. See? So it's like, yeah. So I mean, like some people swear by carnivore diet. A lot of carnivore dieters, you don't see too many of them. Being around for a long time because it's like you don't want to eat a diet where you're only eating meat. That's just my opinion. I think there's just so much food out there. Like I love eating different types of food. I can't imagine just saying like, yeah, I'm never gonna touch pasta again. I'm never gonna touch a apple again or a pear or a grape because carnivore diet, right? So yeah, I like having flexibility. So I think at the end of the day, what I can come up to the conclusion is I think I'm, obviously, right, omnivore diet. I think omnivore diet's a really good diet. But yeah, the whole ketosis thing and the whole keto thing, maybe it's a little too restrictive for me. But yeah, so I will talk to you guys later, and I'm just gonna eat normal stuff like Wes said. We're gonna go to Cheesecake Factory tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I want to go for something gluten free, but yeah, probably gonna eat bread tomorrow and just like kick back a little. Maybe you'll see me even go to Taco Bell, as terrible as that sounds. Man, I don't know. But I'm definitely gonna eat rice. I'm gonna go over and get some kimchi, eat some rice, maybe make my own little kimbap, maybe make some teriyaki beef. Who knows? Or maybe not teriyaki beef because that has sugar, and I rather save my sugar for desserts. But you get what I'm saying, yeah. So, and we'll see. We'll see what happens in 2 weeks, and if this thing clears up, great. And like I said, if it clears up, then I'm gonna say, okay, everything looks good. Let's go back on keto. And if it starts flaring up again, then I feel like I can confidently say, yeah, the keto diet caused the issue. Yeah. So, I don't, yeah, so I didn't, I wasn't starting my day off terribly. It was just like I started off the day with like 2 eggs. And then later on, I would eat, let's say, something like sardines and cauliflower rice or beef stew. And that's basically it. And then maybe I'd eat something like grapes, which I stopped, or banana, or mango. And it wasn't that much food. But for whatever reason, it's like I've never had such kind of flare up on my skin in my life. And when I look at it, I'm like, what the man? I stopped eating hummus because of this. Like I used to eat hummus, but then when my skin was getting worse, I thought, oh man, maybe I'm allergic to hummus. Maybe it's the frickin' sesame seeds in the hummus. But yeah, I stopped eating the hummus, I think over a week ago, and my skin just got worse. So only thing that I can pinpoint right now what caused it to get worse. I locked down on the keto. I went lower carb. When was the previous time you were in ketosis? I'm not too sure. I don't really keep track of this kind of stuff. It's like but I do know like recently more and more I've been trying to go lower carb because it's like I thought, well, I don't see anything bad about it. Maybe I'm reacting bad to gluten or something like that. Maybe that's giving me issues. Don't eat bacon fried. Yeah, I'm not eating bacon either. I stopped eating bacon a couple of days ago. Whenever the last time I had my picture of bacon is the last time I ate bacon. I haven't eaten bacon since. So yeah, it's just I never thought a diet would be so give me so much of a headache over this kind of stuff. But I'm gonna get going. Truly, I'm gonna get going. But in case, like I said, in case you guys know anybody who is Asian and on keto or is thinking about going on keto, if you or yourself are Asian, okay, just be mindful about the keto rash. So if you guys know anybody who is Asian and they say, I'm gonna go on the keto diet and they have issues, just tell them that yes, um, if you are Asian, then yeah, the keto rash is most common in Asian women. But I imagine it could be the same thing for Asian men. But yeah, they're more susceptible if they're Asian women. And the itchiness is crazy. And yeah, so my arm, I'm still treating it with like antifungal and things like that. Look at this, unbearable keto rash SOS. See? Look at this. So they went off to keto, and then, yeah, so they started keto in 2015. They kept at it for 2 months, and then they started getting this rash. And then, of course, they went to the dermatologist, got a corticosteroid cream. And then what they realized is that they were upping their carbs during the same time. So then they went back on keto, the rash came back, and then they kept applying the cream to it. But here's the thing, it's spread. It's now on their back and the sides of the neck, onto their chest, and spreading onto the back. So yeah, not only is it aesthetic, it's unpleasant. It heals into a dark, patchy birthmark thing, and it takes a long time to fade. And let's see how their picture looks like. Ooh, look at the, see that dark purplish thing? Yikes. And yeah, see, nothing short of eating more carbs will go away. So they're at their breaking point. So I was at that same thing. Like, I want to stay on keto, but I have to think about pros and cons, and that's why I'm just gonna get off keto. I can always get back on keto in the future. Oh, look at this. Oh, there's a Keto Rash blog. Oh no. Cynthia uses carbs to get rid of keto rash. Oh, look at that. Toxins released from fat cells. Hmm. They've been in ketosis since mid-October, and this rash didn't show up until mid-February. Yikes. Oh, look at this. They were called a cheater by the keto police. Oh, look at this. I increased carb intake and it was gone within 3 days. I went back on keto. Again, I also took digestive enzyme, vitamins, potassium supplements, and fish oil. Lol. Although some things inside me, it's the carbs that helped me a lot. Yeah, so I'm on fish. I'm on that's cod liver oil. So consensus is, and see, Mary seems to be a woman, right? Um, oh, look at this. I've heard about the blueberry theory. I've actually tried the blueberries. It didn't make a damn difference for me. I ate so many freaking blueberries. If you guys remember, there was a time I was eating a lot of blueberries. So yeah, I might check this thing out later today. But yeah, overall, it seems to be freaking carbs. Carbs is the thing. See, the more carbs I ate, the better the rash I got. I estimate that it went from 50 grams to 150 grams to 300 grams to treat it. See that? So they ate all sorts of things. They ate pies and pizza and ice cream, and then their rash got better. Ah, jeez. Yep. So that's his all sushi diet. Yeah, I will see. I will see. If it is keto rash, you shouldn't. It says you should not moisturize it. You know what? I tried moisturizing that patch on my arm for the longest time. Moisturizing didn't do anything. Um, Not really, actually. I feel like, yeah, I would go to sleep. I'd put heavy moisturizers on it. I'd wake up and it'd be super freaking cracked, and it's like my body was just like, yeah, we're not gonna take the fucking moisture. We're just gonna dry out while you sleep. So I always feel like whenever I go to sleep, I always hold my breath because I think like, oh man, I wonder how my skin's gonna look like in the morning. But yeah, right now my skin is pissed off. But hopefully tomorrow it gets better. Yeah. And I meant to say keto rash is allergic to ketosis. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. Okay, you guys, I shall see you guys later. Hopefully tomorrow it's like my skin gets better, but I'll keep you guys updated about this kind of thing because if any of you guys are, let's say, decide to go on the keto diet, I think me putting these kind of streams, like, it dissuades a lot of people from even thinking about the keto diet. But yeah, you can drop weight on the keto diet. I definitely feel more on point on the keto diet, but frick, this rash, yeah, I'm gonna break keto for this. And that's gonna be kind of hard because I put a lot of freaking habits, right? It's like I always think about carb intake. So for me to just say, yeah, I'm just gonna do the opposite of it and go back to the diet that I used to have before, which is just eat whatever you want and try to be healthy, but don't think too much about the carbs. That's gonna be challenging for me, but yeah, I want my skin to heal because right now I think my skin barrier is definitely gonna get compromised if this thing gets worse. Pros versus cons.